I'm willing to die for this shit. I'm ready to flip and to end up in prison the rest of my life for this shit. So my mama ain't want me, she got in the bush and I end up surviving this shit. And if I want a son, I ain't got the money, I'd probably be robbing this shit. Don't know how much I cry for this shit. Said I'm willing to ride for this shit. You know murder's my hobby, inside of my closet's a bunch of dead bodies and shit. Niggas say that I'm cursed, cause I go to church and stare at the Bible and shit. Shorty say I'm the worst, cause I do my dirt and I don't be hiding this shit. Bitch, I'm a savage, I spit at you bastards, I wonder what you gonna do to me, oh. I need to hear some more rapping, I'm just not impressed by your cash and your jewelry, oh. Are you my soldiers, and I'm a
Hello, world. What's up, everyone? I'm telling you, man, if you don't get hype on that song, I don't know what you're doing. Wow, we are crazy about fights. This is the Fight Bananas podcast. This is Dave Van Auken. How is everyone doing today, tonight, this morning, whenever you're listening to it? Definitely, hopefully you're on the YouTube page. Definitely you can download the podcast on Apple Podcasts and other podcast streams. Today, guys, I'm so excited, man. We got our main man, Stephen Koslow, on the line, ready to get bananas with him. A flyweight, 22 years old. There's so much I want to talk to him about. His first professional fight, July 20th, he's at in Tallahassee for Combat Night 13. There's so much flyweights on. I feel like they got great momentum right now. I want to see what he thinks about that. Guys, there's so much more I want to talk to him. Stephen Koslow getting bananas. All right, guys, I told you, on the line, the undefeated flyweight, Stephen Koslow. How you doing, my man?
I'm doing good, man.
Cool.
How are you?
Oh, man, life's good. Life's good. We're going bananas here. Fight Bananas, we're on fire. The YouTube page is hot. FightBananas.com. Life's good, my man.
Hell yeah.
Cool. So much I want to talk to you about, but let's kind of get into a little bit. First and foremost, your fight coming up July 20th, Combat Night 13 in Tallahassee. Just another day in the park?
Yeah, sir. That's exactly what it is. Another day in the park. I'm stepping up to 135 pounds and getting a good opponent for this one, so I'm pretty excited for it.
Very cool. That was probably my number one question I wanted to get into about. Are you leaving? Do you think you're leaving the flyweight division?
No. I'm actually I'm leaning up pretty good. I just got
okay.
put on a little bit of weight after my last one.
Okay.
So I didn't want to commit fully to a flyweight camp. I didn't think I had enough time. But shit, to be honest with you, I feel like I do have enough time. If I really needed to make flyweight, I could right now. But I'm enjoying the extra 10 pounds I'll get to play with,
For sure. Definitely feel a little bit more powerful going in there. Okay,
Definitely.
Let's talk about that too. May 4th, I was in the building, Combat Night Orlando Live Events Center. That was your first professional fight, first round armbar. How did you think your performance went, and how did you feel, 1-0 as a professional?
I think I'm pretty happy with my performance. I always like to put on a show. I feel like I really wanted to show more and to kind of like put on a bigger what's the word? Put on a better show,
Yeah,
but
yeah, performance.
I with my circumstances I was given, I feel like I did pretty well. I got in and out, minimal damage, and just got right to enjoying my time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man, absolutely. I was going to say that. Trust me, there's plenty of future opportunities for you. We're going to see you 15 minutes. Shoot, we'll see you 25 minutes in the years to come. Championship title fights, all that. Get in, Get out, minimal damage. That's the way to go right now, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir. Not exactly. You don't get paid for how long you're in there, right?
Exactly.
You get paid to show up, get paid to win. So.
Yep, win and get the hell out of there. One fight before you fought, and I think it was his last amateur fight there at the OLE on May 4th, and then I kind of looked into him, and then I remember Mitchell Chamali said that you guys fought. So Adrian Halley, who to me put on maybe the performance of the night over there at May 4th on OLE, and then to see that you guys fought over there in Duval, November 2018, that's just... Sometimes you go back in your record books, like Conor McGregor defeated Max Holloway. No one talks about that. Now if he does that, it's the greatest win in UFC. But, he did that way early. Man, you versus Adrian Halley, like that to me is a Dana White Contender Series fight 2 years from now,
Oh, definitely. I think Adrian Halley is one of the toughest guys I ever fought. Hats off to him. He looked phenomenal on May 4th. And I'm glad to see he's the first ever Combat Night flyweight kickboxing champ. I'm really happy for him. And I see a lot in his future. I think he has nothing but potential, and he's a cool dude.
Yeah, he is. He real cool dude. one thing I definitely wanted to chit-chat with you about, and I loved your mind about the MMA, is even Adrian's opponent kind of thought he won 2 or 3 of the rounds, and I looked up, if you're not submitting someone in the first or second, your fights go, 3 rounds, unanimous decision. I see there was 1 split decision. Our idea here at Fight Bananas, what do you think of a MMA scoreboard? Right? Soccer, football, basketball, everyone has a scoreboard. And I'm not saying about like points, not like, 10, it's 1 round or 10-8, you know what I mean? But they just literally, they tell you. So after the first round, if you're in the blue side and you win 10-9, that's all. It's not like a different score and type setting. But for you guys, the fighters and the coaches, to see what's up, especially going into that last final round.
Yeah, like I try not to let it go to the judges if possible. I made that mistake a few times.
For sure.
One time it cost me the fight. That was the one and only time, hopefully ever. I'll have to deal with that. But I definitely want to get it done before the judges have their say in it. So I don't really think too much about the scoring. I think at the end of the day, the dude who did the most and who trained the most and who worked the hardest wins, regardless of how the points end up playing out.
Okay.
Thinking too hard about winning points, earning points, almost kind of dirties the water for me. Like it blurs it. It takes away from my end goal. I'm thinking finish.
Yeah.
I'm thinking I'm getting in there. I'm gonna start on the feet. I'm gonna hit him with a few good shots. I'm gonna get a good position. I'm gonna take him down. And I'm gonna choke him. That's really all I'm thinking.
Man, I like that. I like your mindset. I also like your music type. I got that Joyner Lucas on the beginning of this show. God dang.
I knew he was going to like that.
Oh,
I've been playing that shit a lot.
Gosh.
There's a Nick Diaz highlight with that song, and I was like, man, that's like my favorite song.
Oh, my gosh. I'm like going to bed with 2 boys. We're watching Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, and I got this Joyner Lucas bank account song flying on top of it. God, it was a great night last night.
That's awesome.
One thing, I do want to get into UFC 239 this weekend. I just love these 3 fights. I would love your side in it. We got Going Bananas coming up in a second. But for one, your division, the flyweight division, Henry Cejudo, now flyweight bantamweight champion, and then he, gets hurt. Even, I don't know if you know or, how far you're in the game about Joan Porta, Titan FC flyweight champion. He's been on the show. He's got a big, bright future in the game. What do you think of the momentum right now of the flyweights?
I think flyweight division is on fire right now. To be honest with you, I mean, even though it probably won't look like much to the outside world, but there's definitely a lot of talk, especially with Cejudo winning the bantamweight championship. Being, I always thought he was a smaller flyweight, always like 5'3" or 5'4", and he's able to step up the bantamweight and like really make it to where at the end of the day, 10 pounds is a lot, but if you can overcome it with skill and tenacity, then 10 pounds really isn't nothing. It's all about who trains harder and who wants it more, who's able to execute their game plan better.
For sure. We were out there in Vegas 2 weeks ago. We were out there for the Dana White Contender Series, and Henry Cejudo was there. He was sitting 4 or 5 seats away from us. Afterwards, after the show was over, we said what up to him. Dude, super nice guy, and it's one of those things. I love him inside the octagon. You can't hate, his skill and his wrestling ability, and now he's striking and everything. Everything he does outside, he's just not my cup of tea. I'm just going to be bluntly honest about it. But, the man is getting wins, and I feel like he's really getting a lot of attention on the lower weight classes. So every time he does that, I'm a fan of it. I love lower weight class MMA. To me, it's just so much more action-packed. So I'm a fan right now of Henry Cejudo. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I enjoy Cejudo. I wasn't really rooting for him whenever DJ was the champ, just because I always liked DJ. I thought he was a very, very honorable, very not to say Cejudo isn't, but I thought he was a very complete mixed martial artist. Him and I hope people don't hate on me, but I like Jon Jones too. I always thought Jon Jones was a very strikingly spectacular person to watch fight. I've always been attracted to his style of fighting, and I think Demetrius Johnson was my second up until that point, and then when Cejudo beat Johnson, I don't want to say I jumped on the bandwagon or nothing, but I did earn a lot of respect for him whenever he did that. So I'm definitely a Cejudo fan. Even if he was to lose the title, what he's done still is irreversible. I think he's a tremendous aspect for the flyweight division and stuff.
For sure. The legacy is set on the gravestone, 2 weight class champ. It's only been Conor, Amanda, and DC. Henry puts his name on that list. You mentioned a guy, I don't know if our fans know about him, Jon Jones, the greatest mixed martial artist in the galaxy. Gosh, he's incredible. I love how much he fights, too. He's so active. When he doesn't mess up outside the octagon, when that man steps in the octagon, there's just no doubt. He's the GOAT. He's just the greatest to ever
everybody's
do
gonna
it.
have what they want to say about him outside the octagon, but like I said, everybody just like opinions, and everybody's got assholes. So whenever he's in the octagon, you can't deny what beauty is, what goes on in there. I just got done watching the Alexander Gustafsson Jon Jones 2 fight, and I think it was phenomenal. Like it's definitely first fight was questionable. It could have been either way. I think he retained it because he was champion and he was able to kind of be a little more flashier. But the second fight was pure domination, in my opinion. I mean, Gustafsson looked good on the feet, but whenever Jon Jones did score the takedown, he did a good job of finishing it. And I've always looked up to Jon Jones as like he's a looks-to-do fighter, and it's kind of funny. I always kind of emulated Jon Jones. I kind of always wanted to be like him fight-wise.
Sure.
When I first started, he was like my first favorite. I kind of searched for a fighter to emulate, and I discovered Jon Jones. Even though he's several weight classes above me, I still think that I emulating his style of fighting is a very smart way to do it. I like doing it.
Oh, absolutely, man. When we had Shelby on the show before, she said, all Steven watches is UFC, fights and Dragon Ball Z. That's all that man watches. I was like, man, putting that on blast. I love it. Real quick, I want to talk about UFC 239. Definitely give you time to shout out any sponsors, gyms, all that stuff. And then, like I said, I got 10 cool questions at the end going bananas. But, UFC 239, the 3 main fights. The first fight, to me, the favorite fight on the whole freaking card. Jorge Masvidal versus Ben Askren. How do you see that fight going?
Oh man, I'm a fan of both. I've always liked Askren because his wrestling is so awesome.
Yeah,
he's able to kind of just use in a way it's like incorrect technique to really just dominate guys through the scramble. His navigation principles are awesome. I've always looked up to him. I went to a seminar of his one time actually at Ludus in Jack's Beach, and I learned a bunch of cool things that I still use to this day. So. Askren's definitely a challenge for Masvidal, but then again, on the other aspect of it, I've been watching Masvidal since I discovered YouTube.
Kimbo Slice fighting in the back, right?
Yeah, I seen him on the Kimbo fight series and shit, and I would watch that all the time. Even before I watched UFC, I was watching Kimbo fights.
Absolutely.
And I think it's really awesome. I think he's one of the most seasoned guys around today. I think Masvidal is he could definitely be champion. Sooner or later. I like his style. I like his aggressiveness. I think he's a real problem for Askren. If Askren can't get him to the ground, which is it's hard to say that won't happen, but if Askren's game plan, which is his obvious game plan, if it's thwarted, he's gonna have a hard time because game bread is his game.
Yeah, 3-piece in a soda to Ben Askren. I think he's just been practicing a course, and I know you can't do it in 3-6 months. It takes a lifetime of wrestling, but he's literally working on stuffing and throwing hands, and I think Ben poked the bear, and I think some people in the fight game, you want them to stay, low. You want them to stay maintained. You don't want to create a rival. Like, you don't want to poke Habib. It's just one of those men you just don't poke. I think Gamebred is one of those guys, too. I think Gamebred puts hands on Ben and probably shuts him down early. Also, the co-main event, Holly Holm versus Amanda Nunes. You can argue the greatest female in mixed martial arts history. Where do you see that fight going?
Oh man, I can't bet against Nunes. I like Nunes a lot. She's probably my favorite woman fighter around today and in history. Like you just said, like she's just so awesome to watch. I think she's a very respectable person, and I just love the style of fighting that she implements. I think she's real fun to watch.
For sure,
so I can't bet against her.
No, I agree with you. It's hard. She's she's just the tear she's on in both weight classes, literally walking right through Chris Cyborg, who no one in the mixed martial art world would ever have thought that, and she literally just walked right through. It was crazy.
Well, that goes to show, right there, you can't.
Yep.
You gotta have respect for anybody in there. Anybody on the opposite side of the cage as you has got a 50% chance of winning. No matter what weight or what camp even they had, all the work that they put in. Like, you definitely are only in control of so much, and if you just let another person capitalize on those moments, like, I'm not taking away anything from Amanda Nunes when I say this, but you never know what kind of camps they put in. That could have been Chris Cyborg's best camp she ever had.
Yep.
And you never know. Nunes might have put in a half-ass camp just for shits and giggles to say that, and you never know. Like, 4-ounce gloves, you got to respect it.
Absolutely.
But I'm sure Nunes put in an amazing camp. I'm sure Chris Cyborg put in an amazing camp, but you just never know at the end of the day. You got to respect everybody in there.
Absolutely, man. And then, we got the main event. We talked about him so much already. Jon Jones versus Thiago Santos. Looks like Santos is going down there, an American Top Team, trying to create an upset, literally trying to create that left-hand hook, trying to create an overhand right. I think Jon Jones is just mentally and physically just better at all aspects of the game. I see Jones, of course, continuing his impressive winning streak and leaving UFC 239, still the lightweight heavyweight champ.
Yeah, I think so too. Like I described earlier, I think I like Jon Jones a lot. I don't really follow what's his name?
Thiago Santos.
Yeah, exactly. I don't really follow him that much. I've seen him fight like maybe a couple times, but I never really was interested in him as a fighter. Not for any personal reasons. I just, as far as light heavyweights, I already kind of have my favorites, that I see that I kind of look up to. And as long as Jon Jones is in the driver's seat, it's really like
I know.
Yeah, that's really the only reason kind of that a lot of people probably know about Thiago now, right? Is that his name, Thiago?
Yeah, Thiago.
Yeah.
And
okay, hell yeah.
It's crazy. Real quick question. I was going to go let you shout it out, and that would be next. But when you watch fighters, especially in those lower weight classes, flyweight, bantamweight, now, hey, you're 100% professional, 1-0. We see on the Dana White Contender Series 3-0, 4-0. To me, you're definitely next. You're, I'm not saying tomorrow, but within a year and a half, you can be right there. When you watch these fighters, do you see them as future competitors?
Yes, definitely, most definitely.
Okay.
Every time, even when I watch Cejudo, I see holes. I see holes I could utilize. Like ways to finish him. Stuff that even Johnson was doing wrong that I could capitalize on. Stuff that he did wrong in his last fight that TJ didn't do. So well. I feel like I could take advantage of those aspects. I know I have much respect for the highest competitor at my division, but I think anybody in my division is in trouble whenever I'm assigned to fight to them. So.
Oh, man, respect that. Like I said, okay, shout out Jim, any kind of sponsors, the 20th, any kind of links for Combat Net, anything of that nature. My man, the floor is yours.
Yeah, no, definitely. Shout out to CSI Company. Shout out to Taurus and Mitchell Tidwell and all the guys that he's asked to help me out and stuff. He's been a tremendous part of my help and my travel, going back to Fusion, back and forth, and all those guys over there. 10th Plant Jacksonville I've been at for a long time. Dean Grant at the training yard has been not just a coach, but a life coach and a life mentor for a long time. My striking coach, Jeff Oxley, we've been working on some crazy ass shit that I'm gonna pull out whenever I get a chance to show it in the cage. I've been really putting a lot of work. Shelby Corn, obviously, she's my rock. She helps me out with a lot of stuff, that a lot of people don't see. And a lot of people, Two Vets OAM, Gotham City Limits, anybody that I haven't forgot, Brunch House, my brunch spot. I'm just so thankful for everybody and all the guys at Fusion, all the guys at 10th Plant Jacks. Anybody that I get work with, I travel all over the state, so I get work with all guys from here to Orlando to Tampa, sometimes Miami, sometimes in Georgia, sometimes in Tallahassee, sometimes or Alabama and shit. So I try to stay in the South. I travel a lot by car. I don't really take planes to me. I don't really like planes, but eventually I'm going to have to overcome that.
I know, me too, man. I'm with you. For work, I travel a lot. I'm driving everywhere, but when we had to go to Las Vegas and I was there for literally 30 hours, I'm like, okay, I got to fly. I can't drive for 30 hours, stay there for 30 and drive back. The family needed me, so I had to fly. Gosh, it was tough. It was definitely A couple drinks were involved. I'm just going to leave it like that.
Oh, no, I feel you, bro.
All right, my man. I got 10 questions for you real quick. Have fun with them, whatever comes to your head, all right?
All right.
All right. Your least favorite sparring partner?
My least favorite sparring partner.
You know, there's...
I think I'm pass on that one. I don't really have a least favorite.
There's always one guy that goes like 3 seconds after the bell. There's always one guy that puts the elbow. It's like, man, I told you my ribs were a little sore. There's always one.
Those, I'm not gonna name names.
I got you, my man. Your first job?
My first legit job, I was probably still what I do sometimes to this day. I'm a ground man for a tree company. Or my first legit job that I wasn't getting paid under the table, I was a pizza maker at Al's Pizza for like 2 months.
Let's go.
And I was like, fuck that shit. I can't do that shit anymore.
Your favorite movie?
Favorite movie? Shit. I don't really watch too many movies. My favorite movie right now that I just watched, shit, man, I can't remember. That movie with Samuel L. Jackson.
Shaft?
And, what?
Was it Shaft that just came out?
No, it's not. It didn't just come out. It's a Samuel L. Jackson movie, and he's running away from this bounty hunter, and he ends up dying at the end. It's a crazy ass movie. It's been on cable recently. Like it's the second time I watched it.
For
in the past 2 weeks. I don't know the name of it, but it's got like a Samuel L. Jackson and a couple bounty hunters in it.
Steve, for one, Samuel L. Jackson's literally been in 247 movies. 3, and then when you talk about you spoiled the movie, spoiler alerts, that he dies at the end. It's like, holy shit, we're going to have 1,000 people listen to it. They're going to send you hate mail of the Samuel L. Jackson death. It's going to be...
Yeah, it's all right. It's an old movie, so it shouldn't be too much of a spoiler.
If you were stranded on an island, what one CD do you bring with you?
CD?
Yes.
Like music?
Yeah, music. You know, I know it's Apple Podcast nowadays, but...
What CD? Probably The Legend album by Bob Marley.
Okay. Favorite day of the week?
Favorite day of the week? Shit. I don't know. Friday.
Okay. Your last Halloween costume?
My last Halloween costume. My last one that I really took serious, I'm pretty sure I was Scream from the horror movies.
Okay, like the villain, the Scream character.
Scream,
okay.
with the ghost mask and shit.
Yeah.
I think I was like 12 last time I did that.
Okay. If you're not in a fight camp or Shelby's not in a fight camp, what's a Saturday night in your guys' life?
Oh, well, shit. Sometimes we go out to dinner. I'll treat her to a nice dinner, or we'll just chill, kind of relax, take advantage of not training, just kind of like relaxing, not doing anything, or we're training, like shit. I do jiu-jitsu not just because I'm in a fight camp or anything like that, but I do jiu-jitsu because I like it, because I love it. I'll do jiu-jitsu way until I'm done fighting. So yeah, that's still a hobby. Or I'll be playing video games, whatever, or watching Naruto or Dragon Ball Z or something.
Okay. Last question. July 20th, Tallahassee, combat night. You versus John Ortiz. What happens?
I'm definitely prepared to go all 3 rounds. 15 minutes is what I'm preparing for. So, anything can happen when there. Once we step in the cage, it's like I said earlier, you're only in control of so much until you get in there, and then it's kind of like whoever flows the best, right? Whoever's having more fun, whoever's implementing their game plan better. But I'm always predicting. If I have a prediction, it's a first round submission, first round stoppage by submission.
Man, I love it. Steve, man, always appreciate your time. We can't wait. I'm going to try to get up there to Tallahassee to watch it live. We love watching your fights live, and continue success in your career, my man.
Thank you, my friend. I had a good time doing this. I hope you have a good day.
Appreciate it. You too, brother. Bye. All right, guys, that was it, man. Steven Koslow jumping on the line. We appreciate his time so much. What a show. I'm telling you, hope everyone stays safe, has a great July 4th. I love America. We love you here at Fight Bananas. Thank you so much for listening. Download, subscribe the podcast. Check out YouTube. Content out there daily. The podcast is on the Fight Bananas YouTube. Make sure you subscribe to that. And make sure you support our main man, Steven Koslow. July 20th, Combat Night, Tallahassee. Like always, man, stay blessed.